Yes, you're welcome back. Just at the beginning, we were talking about the issue of security. It's not only about security in Nigeria. There's a lot that is happening in Nigeria. And there is a reason for us to say that once again we look at the state of the nation. Where are we at, as people would say? Where are we right now in the history of the nation, or in the making of the history of our nation? We've got the issue of security that has led to a situation where one of the governors was trading word with the presidency on the security matters, and where there are accusations and counter-accusations, and some people being called unpatriotic and things, words that were deemed to be quite strong. All of these happened in the course of the week. And in the midst of all of that, you've got the national conferences going on, the committees are being set up. That's part of the state of the nation. In the midst of that, so many other things has happened. So we'll take a look at all of these issues this morning. And we're not just going to focus on security, but we'll look at everything as much as is possible within the time limit we've got. So discussing this with us is Ogunlana, who's a security expert. Dari, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
And on the other side is a legal practitioner, Olashipo Ojo. Good morning and welcome. So, Dari, let me start with you, because the primary focus of a lot of people in the nation is not the National Assembly, is not the National Conference, it's not even the economy. It is the state of the nation as it affects our security as citizens of this nation. I'll start with the issue of, how do you feel about how secure Nigerians feel now?
I feel very bad. Let me say, I'm still mourning as a former student leader. Following the news of those young children that have been abducted for more than 2 weeks now, without any solution to that, I feel very sad about that, because any nation that those young children, they are our future, and if we cannot protect them, then we've lost our future. So I feel very sad about that, and I sympathize with the president. I really sympathize with him, because I know he's sitting on a very serious situation now. The focus, not only in Nigeria, everywhere in the world, even the UN is discussing this issue, our children being abducted without that. In advanced world, if it has happened somewhere else, I know, like United States of America, children for that matter, I know we are going to have a situation. In fact, the presidency, we have to see them informing people every day. Look at what is happening in Malaysia. They only lost about 130 people, but every day you see them informing people,
Update.
This is what we are doing, this is how we are going to do that. That we have not been. There's a communication gap between government and people. And that's my problem, because even while you are trying your best, you must be able to communicate. You must be able to convince the society that, okay, this is what is going on, this is what we've done, and this is how we are going to do that. We need somebody to give us hope. In the absence of that, then there's going to be a problem, because it will come to a time. What Boko Haram wanted, what terrorists want per se, is to ensure that people don't have confidence in government again. And that's the reason you see people, those parents of abducted, this saying, okay, we want to go into the forest ourselves, despite the fact that we have a capability of army of about 150,000 standing soldiers, we have police, we have SS, we have everything. These people are saying, we want to go into forest by ourselves to go and fetch our children. It's just that they are fast losing confidence in government. They are fast losing confidence in army, soldiers, whatever, which of course we have in this country. And it's very terrible. So the reason I feel very sad, and I sympathize with the president. Something must be done.
All right, Olashipo, what's your own thoughts? Let's have your thinking about this.
It's a very sad time. Very sad time for Nigeria. And at times when I think about it, I feel that maybe we've wasted a lot of our lifetime. I'm a former student union leader. I was the Lord Chancellor of the Judiciary of Great Ife. And I've been in this human rights struggle all along. When I was president of CDHR, one day in the office, I picked the file of press statements that has been issued since 1993. I flipped through every page. I discovered we have been repeating the same thing We just change the heading, change the date, and the thing goes. It's the same thing for decades, for over, see, the child will be 25 years. It's 25 years this year. We have been repeating the same thing. So it is not the case that nobody is talking. People have been talking. You are still talking. We are still talking. We keep on talking. Where has it gotten us to? Why? I mean, it's a sad time for Nigeria. And I can see plethora of levities. A situation like we have in hand is almost unimaginable. If somebody comes and tells me that in year 2014, over 200 students will be abducted from any school in Nigeria, I say, no, don't worry, with all this struggle that we are waging. No, it won't happen. But it has happened. And the reality is staring us in the face that no one is actually safe in Nigeria again. And the Constitution says the security and welfare of Nigerians is the primary purpose of government. It's there in the Constitution. It then means that if that primary purpose fails, will it be morally right for government to continue with secondary purposes? I feel something is wrong. Not with me. I know, I can see clearly that Nigeria is I don't want to say caused, or Nigeria has serious fundamental problem that goes to the root of the country, and people have been shouting, pointing. Nobody is ready to do anything about it, and we are now reaping what we have sowed. This is nemesis. This is time to reap what we have sowed or what we have failed to sow at the appropriate time. So it's not a question of security and security. Yeah, security. How many schools do we have in Nigeria? You remember during Idi Agba, and then they drafted soldiers to schools. How many schools could they cover? What is the total number of Nigerian soldiers, military, police, air force, all of them combined together? Can they man all Nigerians? The entire country called Nigeria, are they enough? There is failure, serious failure of government, serious failure of governance, failure of security. By the time a group of people, not that they are not known, and the area they are operating is well known, by the time they will take off, begin to move towards a direction, the entire security apparatus could not apprehend, could not even predict, could not say, this is what they are likely to do, this is how they are moving. Nobody is watching. Nobody. They are all asleep. Then, sorry, I think.
Okay, let me come back to you, Dari. When we look at all of this, and government's response has been that they're working on it, and there is no way we can say that our soldiers are sleeping. To a large extent, it will be unfair. Though I am tempted to do the unfair things at times, but it will still be what it is. It will be unfair to say that our military men are sleeping and they're not doing anything. They are doing something. What's your thought? What is it you think they ought to be doing and they're failing to do now that will point us in the direction of solution?
Well, I'm not a politician, but let me make some statement here. I'm a professional. I've said it times without number. If today we have somebody else, apart from President Goodluck Jonathan, as the president of this country, the same thing will have happened. The only thing that will change is maybe the approach. Now, when this thing happened, during late President Yaradua, I understand it was going to Saudi Arabia at that time, and order full-fledged military approach to this, and they killed over 1,000 of them. It was reported by Amnesty. But what happened is that these people lie low, and they came back in full force. So when President Goodluck Jonathan took over, and when this thing happened again, well, conservatives will say, let us crush our enemy, like President Yaradua did that time with full force. But he said, with his own doctrine, say, okay, let us listen to our enemy, let us understand them. But in the process of, okay, let us talk to them, yeah, these people were recruiting. And let me also say this thing also. Now, there's some statement, careless statement, which of course at times there are some things which of course to do that will embolden terrorists. At a point, the politicians did not come together and cooperate, with the presidency on how to find solution to this issue. That's the reason I'm so much impressed with the statement issued by General Buhari recently, and I like the way the president responded to that. First, we have to learn from the country that has been fighting terrorism for so long time. I pick Britain, for example. In the last 45 years, first thing you have to understand is consistency in response. Our response has not been consistent. Here in this country, what do you call the head of the chief of staffs was appointed, and he said within 6 months, Boko Haram would become the things of the past, without even taking into consideration the security auditing. And what was the response? Don't forget former IG ring him the day he said, okay, your days are over. They went after him and they almost killed him. Now, we have problem. We have not been consistent in our response. Today, when Boko Haram go to sleep a bit, they say, we think everything is okay, over. We've won, we are winning the war without, following up that. For 45 years, Britain has been very consistent about their response. They prepare even in time of peace. In Nigeria, once we don't have anything, we forget about everything. Then two, we need a kind of central coordination and this information, which of course has been lacking for so long time. Even though Nigerian government is improving over that now, but they still need to do more. And finally, we have to itemize the role of individual and community. Now, you just said about the kind of forces we have in Nigeria, they cannot man everywhere. But that's what we call intelligence. That's what we call robust intelligence. Some people collect intelligence and feed the people who are supposed to do something. But coming back to what we are saying, it's not the president is not trying, but he needs to do something. Maybe he's afraid of confronting his military men. I gave him money, I gave you resources. Why is it that we are actually having this kind of problem up to now? The commanders must be held responsible, because in advanced war, once the commander fails, then you fire that commander, or you must be able to explain the reason that happened. With all the money appropriated to this counter-terrorism policy, I'll see that up to today, they are still operating freely in that place. There are so many things to question. Anytime they operate, it's either we don't have anybody at checkpoint at that time. It's either you don't, the military are there and they are watching. I've not seen the kind of sophisticated attack, which of course they've carried out, that our military don't have capability of stopping. For example, this last abduction, it takes them about 3 hours. They were military uniform. What is left of our response time? How come that nobody challenged them within that, 3 hours? And also, let us read to the BBC report recently, when one of the rank and file came out and said, okay, he's suspected as an act of sabotage, because he could even see some of those who are training them in the military school fighting on the other side against them. It was captured in the BBC report. It's important that president must probe that, because I could smell some sabotage, because after giving everything to them, how come these people are still it's either some people are there sabotaging the effort of the presidency, just to try to ridicule the presidency, or try to send some message. It's important. The president must be present enough now to call all the military chiefs. I will give you everything, but you keep failing people. You still keep failing Nigeria, because at the end of the day, military will not be irresponsible. Jonathan will be irresponsible. And that is what is happening all over the world now. And the impression internationally is that it's like the president is not doing anything about this issue at all. It's like the president is not, and we all know that the president, despite all what is going on, he has been calling governors, calling for cooperation. At this point in time, look, I've said this several times on my Facebook page, Boko Haram don't know APC, they don't know PDP. General Shua was among the first person to say, okay, look, don't deploy military to Borno during that time, if you recall very well. But today, where's General Shua? He happens to be one of the victims. Anybody can become victim at every point in time. And it's very important. We need to be very careful. Not me can become why me. And that's the reason we must do everything humanly possible to close our rank at this point in time to support the presidency